We all have coworkers that constantly complain or are pessimistic. Most of the time, their cynical behavior just sets a bad mood in the office and also can leave others feeling drained. So how do you deal with negative people around the office place? Joining me this morning is workplace psychologist Dr. Mamie Hull with hullonline.com. Dr. Mamie, always good to see you here. You know, a lot of people will say this is what brings offices together, a chance to stand around the water cooler, go out to lunch and vent.
Yeah.
Is that true or no?
It is true. It brings people together, but it also brings them down. And so that's the bad part. I often say, yes, it brings people together and also has people leaving as a result.
Now, you have some tips here about how to deal with this. You say, first of all, don't engage in the negativity. How can you not when other people around you are sniping?
One of the things you want to do is listen and use those words that aren't really words like, oh, yeah, as opposed to saying yes and then making it even worse. A lot of times what we do is we try to get into the conversation by making things even worse and saying, oh yeah, let me do that. And as a result, it brings a malaise over the whole organization.
So you feel the need to add on to whatever was said before?
Yes.
Okay. Next, hang out in groups. I can see that as a good or a bad thing here. Why do you suggest people hang out in groups?
One of the things is it's not pleasant to be with a negative Nellie alone. And as a result, you're the brunt of everything. If you're in a group, you dilute the effect. So as a result, you don't have the brunt on you alone. And you don't have to be the only one dealing with him or her.
Number 3 on your list here is go with lighter topics. Do you just try and shift the conversation away?
You do. Like, you can even ask things like, what went right this weekend? Or you look really good. Or talk about something positive. And make sure that you don't get into that heavy-duty negative malaise that they're oftentimes promoting.
I guess you can also pour sugar on it, right? You can reinforce anything positive that they do or say. Again, trying to redirect the conversation, right?
Exactly, exactly. When they say something positive, that's great, or wow, and show it, not only with your voice, but with your tone of voice and your body language. Just be real, real positive and give them reinforcement for saying something positive as opposed to being always negative.
And finally here, number 5, limit the time you spend with them. I guess that's an if possible.
Yes. Yes, if you have a choice, try not to spend as much time with them because they will bring you down. You may be perfectly happy with what's going on, and all of a sudden they bring up something that you hadn't even noticed, and then all of a sudden it becomes foreground for you. So limit the time. And if you have to avoid them altogether, don't go to lunch with them if it's going to bring you down. Don't do your breaks when they do it. Just limit that time.
The president of our network always uses the phrase, he says, negative people make positive people sick. And I've always found that interesting about how it can bring everybody else down. So what's your advice here to wrap it up? What do you do if it's a negative environment?
What you do is you still focus on the positive and think to yourself, what went right? What do I like about it here? And actually keep a list. And that's a big thing. I am a strong believer in writing things down. And if you just write things that went right, you know, maybe you got that sale today. Maybe you got a promotion. Maybe you got a project done ahead of time. Anything that happens positively, jot it down, keep it in your top drawer, and look at it every once in a while. And again, don't buy into that negativity. It'll just bring you down.
Or you can go work for yourself. It's a lot harder to complain about the boss.
Well, it's true.
When you work by yourself.
But you also have the hardest boss.
Dr. May, always good to see
My
you. Do
pleasure.
appreciate your website one more time.
It's hullonline.com, Hull.
Always good stuff.